great, Nikki. I know you filled out some paperwork while you were waiting, but there's a few things I want to go over before we start. You filled out a paper about confidentiality, and I just want to make sure you know everything you say in this room is confidential, except if we talk about you wanting to hurt yourself, or if hurting someone else, or child abuse or elder abuse. I just want to make sure you know that then I am obligated to report. You understand all that? Do you have any questions?
Yeah.
And then also, I was going to be asking you a lot of questions today. It's a little different than most sessions will be, so I wanted to make sure it'd be okay if I took some notes, just so I can remember exactly what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Can you tell me a little bit about what brings you in today?
I guess, I don't know, there are a lot of things, like I am not really super happy with my job, I guess. I'm paralegal, which is fine, you know, it pays the bills, but I'm 29 years old and I did get a degree in English from a good university and I'm not using it at all. And I feel like a paralegal is a job that like people that are even college educated are paralegals. So I don't know, I just feel like I have not accomplished what I'm capable of accomplishing. And then I haven't been sleeping at all. Like I don't know, I have difficulty sleeping. I've kind of like lost my appetite lately. I just feel like really afraid all the time.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit more when you started feeling afraid, when all this started?
Well, I guess I've never really felt completely at ease ever since like, I don't know, as long as I can remember since childhood, but like, especially lately, in my office, I shared an office with a lady, and she passed away quite suddenly, about 3 months ago, and I don't know, that really affected me. I don't know why. I wasn't close with her. Saw her out of the office like a couple of times maybe. And then I had a car wreck right after that. Not even a wreck, but just like a fender bender. But I couldn't get out of bed for like 3 days after that. I was really, really terrified after that. And then recently a man that lived in my building passed away in his bed, and I don't know, after that I just like completely like feel paralyzed with fear all the time.
Okay. Well, you mentioned you never really felt safe all the way back through childhood. Can you tell me a little bit about your childhood?
Well, it was fine, really normal, all-American childhood. My parents are still married. They've been married for 40 years almost. I have an older brother who's a doctor now, and a younger sister who's like really into theater. And I guess growing up, you know, he was always very like good-looking, athletic kind of guy, smart, and she was always a center of attention, I guess. She always wanted all the attention.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I love my siblings, but I guess I was just the middle child. My achievements were more academic, I suppose, whereas they were always the ones that got all the attention in the newspapers and in the school and stuff. But, you know, whatever, it is what it is. I wouldn't even want that kind of attention.
Mm-hmm.
I've always liked, even when I was growing up, I always preferred to like read and watch movies than, you know, play sports or be in the theater. But growing up, you know, my parents are good parents, whatever that means. We were all kind of I don't know, mornings were just really hectic. Everyone was each band for themselves. We were all 2 years apart, so some of us went to the same school at times, other ones went to other schools. But in the mornings, everyone was like, had clubs or things, different rides to school, so we were like always running around here and there. And then I would see my siblings in school and, you know, we'd wave and smile at each other, but we weren't super tight or anything. But like my parents were, we always had dinner together. The 5 of us always had dinner together. Like it was not a question. We always had dinner together. I don't know, like I went to summer camp a couple of times. Last time I went was in 5th grade, I think. My parents are pretty protective. Overprotective. It's weird. Like they're overprotective, but at the same time they like don't care. They care, but they're just like not super involved in my life. Like we all had a 10:30 curfew that we had to abide by, but it's not like they were like monitoring our phones or internet usage or anything, you know? So they were like protective and I don't know, the grand scheme of things, the greater, like the big picture, they were protective, but they didn't micromanage us.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, I would say a really normal childhood. I can't really remember, like, this is so weird, but like, I don't really have clear memories of my childhood. And I don't know if that's because it was just so bland or.
Do you have any specific memories that you could share about interactions with your family, like your mom or your dad, or is it all just kind of?
I don't like. I remember high school really well.
Okay.
Like I said, like a normal day, let's say, was like chaos in the morning, school, which for me, I wasn't really in that many clubs or anything. My brother was the star athlete. My sister was the star. Theater geek, I guess, and I just was an average student, A/B student. We'd come home, they would go to practices, and I would just come home after school. I had some friends, but not really. My parents, like, both of them worked like 9 to 5 office jobs. So I would get home before anyone and I would just like grab a snack and go up to my room and read or do my homework and watch movies. And they would come home and my parents have a really good relationship with each other. They don't really fight that much or anything. I just feel like, I know this is weird to say, but I feel like it was like them separate from me or the rest of us, you know? I think my parents are really close and are like a team. Like it's hard for me to distinguish mom from dad because they came together. And like I can't like we don't really talk. I've never really like had conversations with my parents, you know? Like which is why sometimes it's hard for me when they would try to be super protective. Like I didn't get it because they're not so involved everywhere else, you know?
So you had very conflicting emotions when it came with your parents?
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't have any negative feelings. I like my parents. I think that they, like, provided really well for us growing up. We never wanted for anything, but they were always just doing their own thing, you know? It's not like they were globetrotting without us, but they were always, like, in the kitchen together or like watching TV together while we all kind of like I think like I always describe it as like we always kind of like rotated in our own solar systems, you know?
How did that make you feel, not having much interaction?
I don't know, like I had friends. I guess I had like the typical high school experience. I had friends and I talked to them, but I don't ever really feel like being angry at my parents. More just, I just wanted to tell them like, Like, why don't, if you're gonna just like not be involved, just stay out of everything, like why do we have to have a 10:30 curfew? Or if you're gonna give us a 10:30 curfew and try to protect us from like the bad stuff in the world, then why don't you try to get more involved? It's like, why is it so different? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you ever ask your parents? Or just, that's
I
how it
don't-
always was?
Yeah, I just don't know how far that conversation would get.
How's your relationship with your parents now?
Oh, I mean, I moved away for college, never moved home, and we talk on the phone. I see them at holidays. When I mean talk, when I say talk on the phone, I mean like once every few weeks, one of my parents will call in. I feel like more to just check and make sure I'm still alive.
Does that ever make you feel lonely not having that family connection? Or as strong of a connection maybe?
Hmm, maybe. I do feel lonely, but it's, yeah, maybe, yeah. You know, I'm not saying I wish that like my whole life was different,
Right.
but I just think that it'd be nice to have more communication with my family, especially since like until I was 18, we all lived together and did everything
Right.
in the same house.
So it does seem to an extent, it does make you feel lonely not having that connection. Do you have that connection with anyone?
I mean, I guess I have a boyfriend,
Okay.
if you wanna call it that. This guy that I've been seeing for about 4 or 5 months. He's an accountant, I work at a law firm, he's an accountant at a law firm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, we go on dates and stuff, but it's not, I've never really had a close relationship or a long-term
Mm-hmm.
boyfriend. I think, like, yeah, like 6 months is the longest it's ever been, like, I'm getting to that point now, it's getting close to 6 months, and like, I haven't talked to him in a few weeks, and I'm okay with that, like, I've never really, and even friends, I have friends that will go get some drinks sometimes when I feel like I'm not socialized in way, way, way too long, but no one that I can like just call and talk to anytime, or maybe, but I just haven't tried.
Okay. So if someone asked you who are the most important people in your life, what would your answer be to that?
Can I say Harry Potter? I like to read. I really like the characters in my books, like, but I guess, I mean, my siblings, I know they would do anything for me if I asked. I just don't know that I would ever reach out to them like that. They're both married now, and I have nieces and nephews. And my parents, again, like, I think that they would, if I called and said I need you, they would travel hundreds of miles to me, but I think it would only be if I asked for them to. And I have friends, and I guess Matt, my boyfriend, but, yeah.
Do any of them know about why you're here, or know that you're here, or have you talked to any of them prior to coming to therapy?
No, so I haven't really talked to anyone in a while.
Okay.
Like I said, I haven't been sleeping, I haven't really been eating. I called in, I took a week-long vacation. I accrued a lot of vacation time at work, and I thought maybe one day I'll go on vacation, but I never have. And just this past week, I just could not get out of bed, so I took a week-long vacation. I lied to my bosses and said I was going on a trip, and they were happy that I was going, because everyone says I need to go on vacation, but I didn't. I just locked myself in my apartment, didn't leave. Like, I ordered in food, but I hardly ate. So that's when I realized, like, I'm not I'm not depressed. Like, I just realized that that's not a healthy way to live.
Mhm.
So I called and made an appointment. They, I guess, had a cancellation or something, let me in.
Right.
So this is like really the first time I've been out of the house in oh, 2 weeks almost. So I think that I didn't want to tell anyone because I like told everyone I was on vacation. I don't really talk to my family anyway, so it's not like they know what's going on in my life day to day.
Can you tell me a little bit about what's going on day to day?
Well, lately I'm mostly just afraid. Like, I feel like I'm looking over my shoulder wherever I go, which is not very many places. I go to work, I'll go to the grocery store. I like to swim for exercise, so I'll go to the pool sometimes after work, and then I'll just come home and watch Netflix and read my books. Honestly, if I didn't have to, I would probably just I wish I could get a job. Like, I majored in English, so I want to write. I wish I could just stay in my apartment and write these amazing, magical books to share with the world, but not actually have to interact with the world.
So, what is your motivation to interact with the world right now that is making you get out of bed?
I guess I'm supposed to. I mean, my parents did. They went to work 9 to 5 every single day. They still do. My brother was a mega athlete and spent all of his time outside, super social. My sister, same thing. So I know what it's like, how normal society works. And I'm not antisocial. I have friends, I socialize, and I've never had a fight or an argument. I'm really non-confrontational. Like, I get along with people, but I just have to. Because otherwise, I guess if I'm not writing or anything in my apartment, just watching TV, that's not a way to live. I know that I went to college.
Right. Okay. You keep mentioning that you just feel scared a lot. Can you tell me what's making you feel scared?
I'm kind of nervous to say it.
Well, I'll let you know anything you want to say in here. It's totally okay. And I hope you feel safe enough to talk to me about it. I know you said there's really no one else. So.
I just feel like you're gonna I don't know. I know you're not gonna make fun of me. I'm worried about that. But it's just so weird.
You seem to feel like you think I'll judge you.
I would judge me
You
if I were you. It's weird. I'm warning you.
Well, in your normal day, in any other areas, do you feel judged? Is that a big part of your life? Or
No. I don't feel judged, mostly because I don't give anybody anything to judge.
Right.
I'm pretty, friendly, normal person, whatever normal is. I try not to, distinguish myself anyway.
Right.
That's why this is really, tough for me to say.
Well, I know a lot of people do have anxieties when they come into counseling. It's an anxious process, and so I understand that, and it's very normal to feel that way.
Yeah. I just feel really scared all the time. Because I think I feel like there's a ghost following me.
Okay.
I don't know if ghost is the right word. I've never believed in paranormal. I love reading about it, obviously. I love fiction, and I love, like I said, I love the Harry Potter books and stuff, but I've never really, believed in ghosts or demons, but I just feel this inescapable fear that I'm being followed at all times, and I just keep seeing this Well, I wouldn't say it's not a ghost. I think
Okay.
that's like the wrong way to say it. Or maybe it's just like I just keep seeing this like little boy, really, essentially, is what it is.
Have you ever seen this little boy
I
before?
have no idea. I don't think so. Not in my, like, I don't interact with children at all in my, like, current life. I don't think I've been around children since I was a child.
Okay.
So, I don't know if I've seen them before. I don't know.
Would you mind telling me what you're doing or what's going on prior to feeling like someone's
I mean, it's just always.
all the time? Do you feel them right now?
No, I mean, no, not right now, but like,
Okay.
I'm not like, I know he's there. I hate to say it like he's, because like, I know it's not real.
Well, to me, that seems like it'd be very scary. I would feel scared if I were you. Is that?
Yeah, I do feel scared. I feel really scared. Like, I'm embarrassed that it's happening, but at the same time, like, I feel fear that masks my embarrassment. I just like don't want to go outside because like I don't know. I don't think that anything's gonna happen. I don't know. It's just really, it's embarrassing and I know it's stupid. I'm sorry. Like,
No, it's not stupid. That's how you're feeling. So, but how, on a scale of like 0 to 10, how scared have you felt recently? Like, what is the most scared you've ever felt?
probably 8.
Do you know when that would have been?
I think like right before, so right after Deborah died, that was my office mate.
Okay.
I had the car wreck, and I think that's the first time I like had that feeling that that person was present,
Mhm.
and that's when I got into my little fender bender.
Okay.
I like, there was a car in front of me and I at a stoplight and I like didn't brake fully. I wasn't going fast at all. I was only going like 25 miles per hour, so thank goodness it wasn't a big crash or anything. But like, I just like, I was thinking about her dying and like never been to a funeral before. I've never experienced death close to me. So like, I was just like, all I could think about was her dying. Like, that's all I could think about. Like, what did that mean? What does death mean? Like, I've never seen a dead body. I don't know. I was just like, I guess obsessing over it. And I had this glimpse of this little boy. And he wasn't like, it's not like a ghost, like, see-through or anything. It just looked like a solid person out of the corner of my eye. And I didn't brake in time and I hit the back of the car and I was so scared after that. Like, I couldn't get out of bed for 3 days.
Can you describe what you mean by scared? Like, how did that feel for you?
Like my heart dropped into my stomach and I felt this clenching, like hands clenched around my heart.
Okay.
Like, it was hard for me to breathe. I don't know. I freaked out. I don't know.
It kind of sounds like it was a little bit like a panic attack. Does that sound right to you, or
Yeah.
have you ever experienced a panic attack prior to that?
No, I don't know
Okay.
what a panic attack is, really.
Okay.
Maybe. I trust you if you think so, but like, I don't know. Just really like, I think all the blood drained down of my face, was really cold and shaky. I don't know, it felt like, I think part of why I'm so scared is I feel like I'm losing my mind.
Okay. All right. Well, we're only got about 5 more minutes in our session today. So I just wanted to ask you, is there anything that we didn't touch on today that you were hoping to discuss?
No, I like told you what was going on. Told you like something I have never told anyone before. It's really embarrassing to me, but I know, I think that we pretty much covered it. I just wanna not see a little boy anymore that's not there.
So is that your main goal for therapy, or is there any other goals that you want to make sure we really do work on?
I don't know, I like myself. I don't
Mhm.
think that there's anything wrong with like liking to read or watch movies.
I agree.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I would like to, I just don't understand why I've never had a long-term relationship.
Okay.
I don't understand why I've never like been able to maintain interest in a person longer than 6 months.
Okay.
And, you know, there's nothing we can really do about my family. It is what it is. But I don't know, this fear and anxiety is new and I don't want it.
Okay.
I just don't want it in my life.
Okay, so we'll really focus on that fear that you're feeling, and we can definitely talk about your past relationships and see what's going on there, and also I have a little bit of a homework that I'd like you to do before our next session. When you start feeling that unbearable fear that you keep talking about, if you could just write down what you're doing and what's going on, and maybe we can see if there's a pattern or anything, and maybe see what's happening and get down to the bottom of it.
Okay, yeah, I can do that.
And I want to say thank you for coming in today. That's a really big step, and I know you said you haven't talked to anyone about this, so you know, coming in here I'm sure was even more anxiety provoking than you probably would have liked. So, you know, you did make the first step, and I mean, we'll work on it all.
Okay, thank you.